One of the greatest boxers, if not the greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago. And for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor. Not so much the one with Logan Paul. I just see some of these things, and this is just my personal feeling. This is not a movie. This is not Rocky 3, where Rocky is going against Thunderbolt, who that was his name, or Hulk Hogan, okay?
Floyd is not interested in boxing anymore.
Okay.
So he's interested in cashing in on events.
Before he wants an exhibition with me, but I disagree, and I don't want to fight with exhibition with him. I want to fight a real fight like this. So this is it. This is what I'm waiting for.
Outspoken analysts Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman reignited a storm of controversy, tearing into Floyd Mayweather Jr. after his baffling claims about the Manny Pacquiao rematch, dismissing it as a mere exhibition while whispers of signed contracts for a real, high-stakes fight continue to surface, fueling suspicion and confusion. Stephen A. now hints that Mayweather isn't just talking, he's carefully orchestrating psychological warfare, manipulating narratives, and keeping everyone guessing for a reason no one fully understands yet.
I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop.
Similar to Stephen A. Smith, many analysts now believe that Floyd Mayweather Jr. isn't confused at all about the Manny Pacquiao rematch being labeled an exhibition. If anything, they suspect it's a calculated play, a deliberate twist designed to blur reality and stir controversy, pushing fans and critics into heated debate while something bigger brews beneath the surface. By framing the fight in such a provocative, almost misleading way, Mayweather could be quietly pulling strings, amplifying curiosity, and drawing massive attention to the bout, making every statement feel like a clue rather than a mistake.
I think that this is just a selling point. I think ultimately Mayweather has to agree to whatever the contract is. If it's a fight, I think one of the comments the other day really made a point that, one of the comments in our chat made a point that, has really stuck with me. Mayweather has to know the terms he agreed to. Come on, I mean, you can't just sign something and not know those terms. He's got to know that if it is, in fact, it has to be a fight, then he would do this. And he knows he's got to go through with a fight. He may just be saying this just to sell the fight in general, just to sell it as, make it a talking point, make it a controversial point, so that people want to wind up, talking about it more. It becomes a topic of discussion, and then from that perspective, people end up watching. More people end up watching it because it becomes more of a polarizing topic of conversation. So I don't know. I see this eventually getting straightened out. I think it has to. I mean, Floyd has to fight right now. I think Mayweather probably wants to fight right now. I mean, Mayweather wants to fight and probably has to fight right now, and Pacquiao seems to want to and have to as well. So in one way or another, I think.
The controversy ignited the moment Floyd Mayweather Jr. publicly branded the Manny Pacquiao rematch as nothing more than an exhibition, a claim that didn't just clash with Pacquiao's own words but directly contradicted what promoters, broadcasters, and key stakeholders believed they had already locked in behind closed doors. The sudden fracture in the story sent shockwaves through the boxing world, as if a carefully constructed narrative had just been ripped apart, exposing something far more complicated underneath. Almost instantly, doubts began to spread, whispers turned into speculation, and what once seemed like a straightforward megafight started to feel like a setup, raising serious red flags about what's really happening behind the scenes.
Manny, by chance, did you feel what Floyd said? I think he might saying that he feels it's an exhibition and not a real fight.
Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure.
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight. Okay. Yeah, because I know he said.
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
Is Spears still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then.
He has to remember that.
But it's still on. It's still happening.
Oh yeah, we did sign the contract already, so there's no reason why.
Why wouldn't?
Why wouldn't?
Yeah. All right. Look good. You look already in shape. What adjustments do you think you're gonna make for the rematch? Adjustments compared to the first fight.
I have the improved and better strategy, or compared to the last one.
Tensions escalated when Manny Pacquiao Promotions openly accused Floyd Mayweather Jr. of breaching a binding agreement, insisting this wasn't just a misunderstanding but a calculated violation backed by hard evidence. According to them, Mayweather didn't just agree once, he allegedly signed multiple contracts clearly defining the bout with Manny Pacquiao as a legitimate professional fight, not some casual exhibition as he later claimed. They assert that documented proof exists, from verified digital signatures to formal records, each piece quietly contradicting Mayweather's public narrative and deepening the mystery around his sudden shift.
Has been a breach of contract in terms of what Mayweather had to say the fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport, and this kind of fight is going to generate a ton of money.
Max Kellerman confidently insists that in a rematch, Manny Pacquiao wouldn't just compete with Floyd Mayweather Jr., he would stop him, and do it with unsettling ease, a claim that immediately turns heads and raises the stakes. Kellerman points to Pacquiao's recent activity, hinting that while others slowed down, he sharpened his weapons, building faster, tighter combinations and maintaining a relentless, suffocating pace that refuses to fade. According to him, those very advantages aren't just strengths, they're pressure points, the kind that could quietly dismantle Mayweather's legendary defense, overwhelming him before he can adjust, and flipping a once predictable outcome into something far more dangerous and uncertain.
So Pacquiao is the active, sharper fighter by the time he fights Floyd in a rematch, and Floyd would be in danger of being stopped. And in that fight, there is a very good chance that Pacquiao will stop Floyd Mayweather.
Manny Pacquiao has relentlessly pushed for an official rematch, shutting down any suggestion of an exhibition with unwavering certainty, making it clear that this isn't about showmanship, it's about legacy, and the fight must stand as a legitimate professional contest, not a staged spectacle designed for optics. Behind his words is a quiet intensity, a refusal to let the narrative be twisted into something less meaningful, as if he knows something others don't. This hardline stance collides directly with Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s reported preference, creating a growing tension that feels less like a disagreement and more like a standoff. With neither side willing to bend, the path forward grows increasingly uncertain, making it seem unlikely the bout will proceed under exhibition rules or at all unless a clear, binding agreement on real competitive terms finally emerges from the shadows.
It's up to him. If he come out to retirement, then we'll have a Mayweather Pacquiao too.
Would you do an exhibition with him, or would you potentially entertain an exhibition with someone like maybe a Conor McGregor?
No, I don't like exhibition. Like I want if Mayweather is my opponent, I don't like exhibition. Like I want fight.
Reports are now surfacing that Floyd Mayweather Jr. may have already received substantial advanced payments tied directly to an agreement for a professional bout with Manny Pacquiao, a detail that quietly shifts the entire narrative into far more dangerous territory. These funds, allegedly issued under the assumption that the fight would be officially sanctioned, now cast a long shadow over Mayweather's sudden insistence on calling it an exhibition, as if the story is being rewritten after the deal was already set in motion. If true, this raises unsettling questions about whether altering the bout's status could directly violate the original contractual terms, turning what seemed like strategic promotion into something much more serious, where every move risks exposing consequences that can't easily be walked back.
Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like partially. But still, what? So if this is to be believed, and this is via ESPN, this is not, random Twitter person reporting this. I think Mike Coppinger also reported the same thing. If this is to be believed, Floyd took a cash advance and then undermined the promotion of his own fight to try to protect his 50-0 record and still make a bet.
Stephen A. Smith has been openly attacking Floyd Mayweather Jr., claiming the undefeated champion is carefully selecting opponents in recent years while raising serious doubts about his competition choices.
When you're that great and you're that elite, no one deserves, not just anyone deserves to be in a ring with you, even if you are retired, even if it is for exhibition purposes. A lot of people out there wish they could be in the ring, on a basketball court with a LeBron James. All right? You don't deserve it. You're not him. You're not on his level. He's so elite. He's so phenomenal. You don't deserve to be in that arena with him unless you've earned it. So that's just how I look at it. These exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely. Kellerman claims Floyd has perfected a calculated method of picking high-paying, low-risk fights against YouTubers and UFC fighters lacking elite boxing skills, letting him stack massive paydays while sidestepping real danger from top-tier professional opponents in today's boxing world unfolding tonight.
Floyd was like, well, actually, from the fighter's point of view, my best interest is take minimal risk, maximum reward, not get hit, get out with all my money and all my marbles, right? Like, that's in the fighter's best interest. Fighters and fans' interest diametrically opposed. And so what Floyd figured out after a while, for example, with Pacquiao, Stephen A., is I don't have to fight this dude at the height of his powers. I can wait. Okay, I'll fight him now. Now there's pent-up demand. I got to make 5 times more than I would have made back then to fight a guy who's not as dangerous as he was back then. That's smart. And then what he realized is, wait a minute, because Conor McGregor's rise, I don't even have to fight fighters, boxers. I can fight dudes who don't box and make $100 million. Now, what fool wouldn't do that if he could? Why fight a guy who's trained his whole life to box you for $30 million when you can fight a guy who hasn't trained his whole life boxing for $100 million? Well, of course, Floyd's right about that, so that's what he did. And since then, he's realized, Stephen A., he never has to get in the ring with a dude who's trained his whole life to box, and he can make money. Whether it's a Japanese kickboxer, right, who's smaller than him, whether it's Logan Paul, who's a YouTube star who's twice his size, it doesn't matter. If you haven't trained in boxing your whole life, it's easy work for Floyd at any age, and he's going to make tens and tens of millions of dollars to do.
Deepening the controversy, Mayweather's ongoing exhibition fights against non-boxers and crossover athletes keep fueling suspicion, with claims his planned exhibition bout involving kickboxer Mike Zambitas might itself breach the Pacquiao contract, sparking whispers of legal manipulation behind the scenes tonight under intense scrutiny.
Could be one of the most detrimental moments in Floyd Mayweather's career. Floyd Mayweather is back. Iron Mike Zambitas is actually from K1. And this dude was a monster. From the highlights I've seen, he would walk up to you, fire off combinations, and send your chin into the 4th dimension. Here's the only problem. His last fight was 10 years ago. So I don't expect Zambitas to, put on a masterful performance against Mayweather and beat him. But I also don't expect Mayweather to do a lot of damage to Zambitas. Mayweather's 48 years old. Mike Zambitas is 45 years old. If Mike Zambitas comes in and he's got that, quick style where he can just unload pressure on Floyd Mayweather, again, this could be a huge moment for Zambitas and a detrimental moment for Mayweather. So, what do you think of Floyd Money Mayweather versus Iron Mike Zambitas?
Despite the swirling controversies, CEO Jazz Mather insists the long-rumored rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny 11 minutes, 44 seconds Pacquiao remains firmly on track and is set to be an official professional bout. He believes the fight will be explosive, high-stakes, and highly competitive, worthy of global hype, emphasizing both fighters remain in elite conditioning and sharpness despite age, making this matchup a dangerous yet compelling contest rather than a mere exhibition.
Do you feel the demand is going to match up to the expectations?
Better. I think that demand-wise, look, people are always going to have comments. They're always going to have something to say. A lot of people are excited. A lot of people are saying, oh, this fight's not going to do that great. Or why are they doing this? They're so old. They're this, that. Those are going to be the first people that are going to want to watch it. I think leading up closer to the fight, when people start seeing their training camp videos, then they're going to be like, wow, like this is not a joke. These guys are in serious conditioning, right? Because a lot of time you see boxers, they're in their early 20s, they're great. And when they hit their mid 30s, they're completely out and they just can't continue anymore. These guys are different. They're built different. They are different. There's a reason why They're global icons, not just boxers.
According to Jazz Mather, the rumored rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao is being lined up for 10 to 12 rounds under 8-ounce gloves, a setup already raising quiet tension behind the scenes. Mather says the rules are engineered to balance brutality and control, protecting aging fighters while still keeping every second dangerous and unpredictable. He adds Pacquiao's camp is pushing for a 147-pound welterweight cap, but nothing is locked yet and Mayweather's team still holds the final word. The framework remains in flux as negotiations continue in secret, with both camps maneuvering for advantage while protecting commercial stakes and global hype, turning the bout into one of the biggest boxing spectacles in recent years.
Let's get into some of the key particulars as well. How many rounds is the fight? What weight will it be contested at? What ounce gloves will be used? Can you share some details there?
So 10 to 12 rounds, 8-ounce gloves. The weight has not been confirmed yet. Okay, we're still waiting on Floyd's side for this one, but it'll be about, we're hoping around 147 is what Manny wants.
Gotcha. And it sounds like the rounds could be either 10 or 12?
10 or 12, yeah.
And these will be 3-minute rounds?
Yeah.
Max Kellerman warns that the first collision between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao wasn't merely a fight, but a financial earthquake that shattered records. It became the highest-grossing bout of its era, quickly branded the fight of the century, pulling in staggering global attention and money from every corner. He insists this is why Netflix is now aggressively circling the rematch, trying to resurrect that same electric nostalgia for a modern audience hungry for history. Reports claim the 2015 showdown set record pay-per-view numbers and massive gate revenue, locking its place as a historic benchmark in boxing lore. Now, years later, with both men returning from time's shadow, Kellerman argues the rematch is being shaped less as a true competitive necessity and more as a carefully engineered nostalgia trap designed to replay memories rather than produce a prime-era war.
When people say the biggest fight in boxing history, if you don't adjust for inflation, et cetera, or tickets sold, et cetera, Joe Louis and Max Schmeling, the rematch, Ali and Frazier, the first fight, these were the biggest fights in boxing history. But Mayweather and Pacquiao was easily the biggest fight of its era, of the generation. And it was the highest grossing fight of all time.
Sure.
Because it had 4.4 million pay-per-view buys at $100 a pop. Do the math, right? It's interesting because Netflix is obviously in the business of, you said, eventizing.
Yes.
They want enormous events that become shared experiences. In a way, in this day and age, partly because of delivery systems of content like Netflix, everything is so niche. Everything is so compartmentalized that there's very few shared experiences. It's one of the reasons that the NFL is such a big.
Kellerman turns the debate toward legacy and pound-for-pound greatness, questioning whether Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather stands as the more historically significant fighter. The panel splits sharply over how greatness should be measured in boxing, some pointing to Mayweather's undefeated record, suffocating defense, and surgical perfection in the ring. Others counter that Pacquiao's path feels more dangerous and more complete, citing his aggressive style, willingness to face elite threats, and titles across multiple divisions. The discussion tightens as Mayweather is framed as the master technician, while Pacquiao emerges as the risk-taker who built his legend through chaos and pressure. Ultimately, they agree both sit among boxing's elite immortals, yet the argument fractures into silence with no final verdict, only tension over skill, sacrifice, and influence that refuses to settle, and one clear truth lingering like a shadow over boxing's history, forever unresolved and unfinished still.
It's going to happen in Mayweather-Pacquiao. Are you interested in it?
Yep.
Is it a good fight?
Yeah.
I'll be watching.
Watch it. The first one was awful, but now they're 50 years old. Let's see it.
But why though? But you didn't like the first time.
No, I didn't.
I'm not watching the second.
You didn't like that match?
No, the first fight.
I forgot.
So when it wasn't grandpa's,
I know you
when it
didn't
wasn't
like it.
grandpa's,
By the way,
like
that fight went more or less how I thought it would go. I always thought it would go that way.
But you liked Pacquiao more.
No, I didn't like the fact that it
Who's
was a
your
diminished
favorite fighter, Pacquiao or Floyd? Come on,
My
we know it's Pacquiao.
favorite?
I'm a Pacquiao fan.
No,
Pacquiao.
actually, Floyd. Watching Floyd fight is actually more my style of that perfect boxer.
That's what
when I do a pound for pound ranking, I'm trying to be objective. Pacquiao jumped more weight classes. What he did pound for pound to me was more impressive.
But you have him over Floyd.
But I never thought Pacquiao was going to beat Floyd.
Pacquiao has intensified his preparation for a highly anticipated rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr., training as though the clash is already a full professional fight with dangerous stakes closing in. Known for relentless discipline, he reportedly pushes through 30 to 36 rounds of training each day, a brutal ritual carved into his career to build endurance, speed, and razor-sharp reflexes. He insists this rematch is not an exhibition but a legitimate war of consequence demanding maximum focus and preparation without a single lapse. His training reflects a long-standing reputation for extreme work ethic and obsession with peak condition even in the final stretch of his career. Each intense daily session pushes him closer to fight readiness, reinforcing both his determination and his respect for boxing's unforgiving competitive nature. As the countdown to confrontation tightens, tension builds quietly in the shadows.